but Mr. Cruel was never caught.
Of course they were frustrated. Dave Sprague describes it as the monkey on his back that's still there. You know, he still has to go through life knowing that he was the head of the task force that didn't catch Mr. Cruel.
People have their own theories, but there were a number of people that it may have been. And this is again one of the difficulties that investigators face at times, is that there are too many suspects rather than too few. I've got a reasonable belief that they would have spoken to Mr. Cruel, but that there was probably just that small piece of evidence, that tiny link that was missing, that would, because there is a difference between identifying a suspect and getting up a case at court beyond all reasonable doubt. And you only have one chance in our legal system, and if he was presented at trial and was acquitted, that'd be the end of it.
The sad reality is that Mr. Cruel could be anybody. He could be a married person, he could be single, he could be divorced, he could have children, he may be childless. He's a person who has been very successful in separating his deviant sexual life from his day-to-day operational life. So I think we can say that he's obviously a person who's obsessional, he's meticulous to detail, he may even be a member of the local church. It's as frightening as that. And this is why I suspect he's not been detected, because he's been able to be so anonymous in the community in terms of his day-to-day living that people have no suspicions about him at all.
Next, two psychics employ the spirit world to hone in on Carmen's killer. Believe in psychic phenomena until there is scientific proof. What most people don't realise is that there already is. Psychic phenomena, or psi, has been shown to exist in thousands of scientific experiments. Virtually all scientists who have studied the evidence, even the hard-nosed skeptics, now agree that psi merits serious attention. The question is no longer what proof is there, but rather what does the proof reveal about ourselves and the universe. To assist in the Karmein Chan case, 100 psychics from across the country were individually tested. 2 obscure murders were chosen for the testing procedure. Presented with only a photograph of the victim, the psychics were asked to provide details of the crime, the location and killer. Of the 100 psychics tested, only 5 were able to describe intimate details in both test cases. 2 of these, Deb Webber and Ruth Wilson, have been chosen to investigate Karmein Chan's murder. Ruth Wilson is a highly regarded clairvoyant.
Looks like this long knife that I'm seeing.
She has her own talkback radio show and is an honoured member of the International Psychic Institute in London.
I get the sense of suffocation.
I'm a clairvoyant medium, so that means I have the gift of sight. So I see things in spirit, but I see things in ordinary, everyday terms as well. And as a medium, I am able to communicate with those who've passed over.
Deb Webber is an exceptionally gifted psychic who lives and communicates with the spirit world.
It's either May or Mary, because I've definitely got an M around her name.
Deb regularly tours Australia, conducting seminars that present life after death as a reality.
For the last 12 months, my ability's been turning to more helping the souls that have actually passed over. And that's what I love, because I feel I'm working for them too, for the souls actually to evolve and to be free of the human burdens.
There are certain things that we simply don't know about our physical realm and our physical makeup. So if a psychic could come up with information that would lead to Mr. Cruel, I think I'd be the first person to grab it and run with it.
Working on a program like this can open up for other people to use clairvoyance to help them.
I'm very interested in doing this sort of work because I feel that it can be of help to people, to the victims themselves who are stuck in spirit, and also to their families who need some sort of resolution and completion.
Like any bit of evidence or a line of inquiry, it has to be seen as credible and supported by other corroborating evidence. So in that way it's no different to someone nominating, I think it might be my next door neighbour.
The psychics have been told they are working on an unsolved murder, but they have not been given any details of the case or the people involved. The psychics have been flown from interstate to minimise exposure to the case. The psychics have never met and have been kept separate from each other at all times. Each psychic has been filmed non-stop in one day. They were kept under constant supervision to prevent them from researching the case, and the production team gave no responses during the readings. Deb Webber prefers to work with a name, but first Deb and Ruth are given only a photograph of the victim. Surprisingly, Deb asks for it to be face down.
Fair skin. Soft, gentle, happy person usually. Very bubbly, talkative. Pretty. Very pretty little girl. She doesn't feel very old. She doesn't feel very old at all, like 14, around about 14. Feels like she was hit. Like hit, yeah, I've got it like a hitting.
Deb has made some remarkable observations working with a downturned photo.
I'm getting 1983 around this now, around her. I'm also feeling as though she's born in the 1970s. I keep wanting to say Karen, but I don't know if that's her name. I just want to say the name Karen. And I've got an initial C around her now too. It's like C-H-U-I or C-H...
Can I have her name?
The production team now give Deb the name of the victim.
Her name's Carmen.
I keep getting a big house around this little girl. Huge house, like really big. It's level with the ground. Feels like there must have been stone or something out the front of it, like gravel. I don't know why Templestowe's coming into it. That's where the house is, in Templestowe.
The Chans lived in a large, single-storey house in Templestowe.
And I'm seeing a man looking through a fence or looking over a fence into a playground.
Oh, she's showing me green. That must have been outside. Green, like grass.
For some reason I'm seeing green, pale green or a dirty green colour.
I keep seeing the house. She reflects the green and the house to me. Something about the house. She was attacked at the house.
I feel she's been abducted or taken or snatched, or she may have even been taken from home, from her bed even.
I feel there must have been the mother or someone in the house, because I've got a parent in the house. She's screaming because she wasn't on her own at home.
Carmen's parents were actually at work when she was abducted.
There seems a younger sibling around as well. It's almost as though there were no parents there, or there was people absent, or it was like she and another child or something were alone in some way.
Carmen was babysitting her two younger sisters.
Because she was scared for the other person in the house. So there must have been a family member in the house with her. To me, it feels as though she was in one room and then taken to another room.
I can see the knife, and it looks like a long, thin knife or a long carving knife with either an ornate or an engraved or some sort of ridged handle.
Carmen's sisters said Mr. Krull did have a knife.
When he went to get Carmen, he had something over his face already. He must have had gloves on too, because I can't see his hands. I feel that they dragged her, took her from her home to somewhere else. Because I've got outside again, and the car, it's just sitting across the road, just down a bit.
Sniffer dogs followed their trail some 200 metres to where police presume Krull had a vehicle parked.
He didn't take her too far away from the home, because it's only a short trip to where they had to go.
It seems dark in the room, or she can't see quite clearly. She might have been blindfolded or something.
Must have been locked up in something, because everything went dark on her.
She was somewhere else, though. She was somewhere else. I don't believe he was very big. I feel he was quite wiry, strong and wiry.
He looks stocky in the black clothing, but when you take the black off him, he was more slender build. It's very strange.
She's only showing me bits. I'm seeing like a 2-day growth on his face. He's not clean shaven.
There's also marking on the face, but it's near the mouth, here. But I think that's covered up by hair, because I got hair. She showed me hair.
Brown hair, medium brown hair this man had.
Brown hair. She's not sure what he does, but he's outside a lot.
Something to do with machines or mechanical things.
I think he was a factory worker at some stage. Yeah, it feels like he's got a finger missing. He's had something wrong with one of his fingers. There's something wrong with his hand, actually. Yeah. The Asian feel.
Deb is starting to pick up on Karmen's nationality.
Part of the motive would have been racism.
It was something to do with her being Asian.
Someone was prejudiced, didn't like the family living in the area that they were living in.
I almost feel like he's behind bars. He might be behind bars, but not for this, and certainly not for something as serious as this.
Could be around about 45. I don't feel he was a young boy.
Oh, I'm going to take back what I said before. It's what she's saying. He needs to be behind bars. He's actually out free.
I said that he could have treated her nice because I think at times he did. Like he was trying to be accepted by her in a way, but she's fearing. But she didn't open to that, so he got angry.
I'm seeing her being sick. I'm seeing her vomiting. Just absolutely terrified. The perpetrator of the crime was really very cruel, was very horrible.
Karmein said he was quite a cruel man.
But I'm picking up there was some sort of sexual assault or something around this as well. Not nice, not nice.
Karmein was abused in every way that she could be abused. Cruel. And it was because he was so cold, like no emotion.
She was a very intelligent little girl, and she would have been able to describe him. And she would have seen enough and just got enough information for the police to find him if she'd been let go or they'd found her.
It feels like there's something over her face.
And I'm getting this smothering feeling like I can't breathe, I can't breathe.
It's like a strangling.
I'm feeling hands around her throat, actually. Feeling hands and like strangling in some way. What she's telling me is that it felt like 2 or 3 days that she was there with him before he killed her.
I don't feel that she died straight away. I feel it was a couple of days. I don't know why I keep getting this river. She keeps showing me the water flowing past, so I'm not sure she was near the water when she was found. The walker? Don't know who the walker was. I don't know why I got a tripping feeling. Unless that's just the symbol to show me that they stumbled in, and found the body.
Karmen's remains were found near a river by a man walking his dog.
She remembers the dog because it made her feel good. Even though she wasn't alive, she was still there, and the water was very close by.
I'm getting a really, really sore head now, as though she may have been hit.
Was she shot? I got a real quick hit. and it hurt.
Next, the hunt for Krul intensifies when the psychics are taken to the crime scene.
It wasn't that side though where he came.
There's something wrong with his right leg, right knee.
Ruth arrives in Serples Road, Templestowe. Deb arrives hours later. They are placed some distance from Carmen's house and are then asked to find the crime scene.
Yeah, I have a feeling around here somewhere. I just want to walk up here a little bit first.
Ruth is walking away from the house.
She's on this side. On this side, she's saying. I'm here.
Ruth appears to be lost.
Do you mind if I direct you a bit down that way?
Yeah, sure.
Ruth is redirected back down the street.
I get the feeling that there's a school up that way, and I feel as though I'm approaching from this angle. That's why I'm...
There are 3 schools close by in the direction Ruth was pointing.
Okay, I'm just really not liking it around here. I'm feeling really, really sick now. So I think that I'm a lot closer here. So, yeah. I feel it may very well be this place that we're looking for here, because what I'm seeing now is I'm feeling sick as I look at those windows in there.
Ruth has found Carmen's house.
I think it's this one.
Deb has also found the house, but has gone to the other entrance.
I feel that this is the place that she was taken from, and one of the things that I'm getting with this is that it seemed to have been almost too easy to get in.
Police reports state that the Chan's house alarm was off at the time.
I thought this is where Carmen lived. This is the place, but it's gone downhill since she left here. Like the grass is now dry, before it was green. She could play in the yard and feel really safe here. That's the brickwork that she showed me. And I think he actually came in here. This area, this entrance here.
I don't feel that the gates were always kept closed. They're closed now, but I feel that they may have been open at the time.
Do I feel the gates were open?
I'm seeing an area around there, which if we go around the corner we might be able to come to, but I feel that the entry was over the wall round the corner, and it feels as though there's a window over in this side where he went in.
Police confirmed that the kidnapper did enter via a side window.
Yeah, I think it's around just this area here where he went over.
This man's been around this area because it's got something to do with another girl at the same school.
Both Karmein Chan and Nicola Lynas attended Presbyterian Ladies' College.
I feel that he followed this girl either from school or from when she went to the shops, and he knew where she lived. He'd been watching the home, and I feel that he had sussed out the whole place.
He drove up and down, watching, and then came back when it was darker, and that's when he got up. I don't know where her parents were. They weren't here. They weren't here. He knew that. He knew the parents weren't here.
I feel that he'd been here before.
He's here to do something. He's here to fix something.
Or someone who was some sort of tradesperson in some way.
The casual clothes, like the maintenance-y looking man, he was going to come and do gardening or
giving a quote or doing something in order to have an entree into the home.
And he must have had a look sort of around the house to see who was there, but I feel he must have left the other people alone that were in the house, because they weren't hurt. I feel they were safe. But he took her.
I'm feeling such a sense of being dragged out. And because she was slight, she was little for her age, he could pick her up.
No, he picked her up and carried her, I feel. Like.
She was put into a van. It's not a one-ton van, it's smaller, and it's got the windows shaded out. Some sort of fixer's van or an electrician's van.
But she's also given me a white car, like a maintenance car, like a utility. It's all locked up now. All locked up. Her parents don't live here. They've gone. She said, my family doesn't live here anymore. They've gone. They've left.
Carmen's family have since moved house.
This was a really safe place for her, and it's not anymore. She wants to take me where she was laying down. She's laying down. Where are you laying down? You know, you can hear the aeroplanes from where she was. She's got the aeroplane over the top of her. She said she wants to go there, where the aeroplanes were. That's where she was.
Nicola Lynas also heard planes flying overhead. It's therefore likely that Karmen and Nicola were held captive in the same house. Ruth and Deb are taken separately to the site where Carmen's body was found.
I feel as though there might have been more structures here or something more here. But the openness is the green that I was seeing, definitely, of all of this, like fields. And I think that this may have been fields at that time. I feel that this is maybe where her body was found as well.
We're at the site where I feel that they found Carmen's body, and when that person stumbled over, her body was just down in this line in here somewhere. Because this is the track that that person was walking along with the dog.
It was almost an accidental discovery, I feel, her body. And it wasn't very well concealed. That was the other thing. It was quite open. It's not like any, or very much of an attempt was made to cover her up.
Ruth is correct. Carmen's remains were clearly visible.
But it was like she was just thrown, just tossed here.
And it was sometime, it feels like it's sometime later. It could have been months, it could have been a bit longer than that even.
I don't think she was here for that. Oh, no, she was here for some time. She was here for some time. It wasn't a short moment for her.
And it may have even been like 9 or 12 months, 9 months later.
Carmen's remains were discovered almost 1 year after her abduction.
She doesn't know why it happened to her. She knows it had something to do with her father. She doesn't know what it was with the connection with her father, not meaning that the father had anything to do with it, because the father didn't have anything to do with it. But this gentleman was angry, I feel, towards Carmen's dad for some reason.
I get the feeling that the perpetrator did live in the area nearby, so much so because he knew about this place. He knew that it would be safe to dump her body here.
I believe that he might have worked in this area at one stage, because he actually knows this area. He knew to come in and bring her here, because no one walks down here.
It may be that he had some connection to a factory or some workplace, or have lived nearby.
I feel that the gentleman probably lived about half an hour away from here. At the same time, I feel that he's shifted again, though, since that time. I keep getting Stewart. I really keep getting that Stewart. It's really strong. But I'm not sure if it's a street or that's his first name.
I'm still getting the one with the M, and I feel that that one's the important one. He may have a limp. There's something wrong with his right leg, right knee or right leg or something. Don't know what it is. I'm seeing him walking a bit lopsided.
And he walks with a limp. I feel that he, the man that took Carmen, actually has a limp now. Because she's just given me, like, the sore back earlier, but she's just giving me a limp on this gentleman.
Next, a new psychic joins the investigation and reveals startling information about Mr. Cruel's life and whereabouts.
It's really, to me, more of a sort of 70s house. It's not very well kept.
One psychic with an impressive track record was asked to do a reading on all 3 victims. Because she is local to Melbourne and could be aware of the case, she was asked to provide unknown information about Mr. Cruel and his victims.
Look, I don't want to disclose my identity because this is such a high-profile, dangerous case, and I feel that I'm very, very accurate with my observations. I do believe that some things are best left up to the law.
This psychic has chosen to go by the name Linda.
With the house where he took the girls, I feel around the Essendon area because I felt planes around the area. It's really, to me, more of a sort of 70s house. It's not upstairs, it's downstairs. Flat, very, very plain. It's not very well kept. I don't get a house with nice green around it. This, to me, is flat, very flat, more like cement. He has known the little girl with the pigtails. It's like he's seen the family.
Mr. Cruel may have seen Sharon's picture in the paper 6 months before the abduction.
When I see the girl with the braces, that she has like disinfectant over her, because I'm getting a very, very strong smell around her. This little girl, I feel, lives near a fruit shop or a post office or somewhere where she has spoken to this man. And I don't think he's held the girls in the same place as where he lives. The location that I feel the perpetrator lives in would be strongly connected to Box Hill. It's quite a lovely, homely home. I feel he has easy access and lives not too far from where he works. The person who committed these crimes, I feel, is a very bright person, highly intelligent, but I really think he's been mentally scarred, I feel maybe around the age of 10. Because of the age of these children, there's a real sort of pattern around this person. And I don't get a father around him, I only get a mother. I don't think she's still living though. I feel that she passed about 2 years ago. He is a single person. In fact, I don't think he's even had the opportunity to marry. There's not a lot of hair on him, and it's not thick hair, it's very fair hair. It's like baby's hair, fine hair. He maybe hasn't exercised because his skin is a bit flabby, but it's very soft skin, almost like baby skin. But he's not fat.
Tell your father it's going to cost $20.
And he whispers. He whispers.
Say Nicola again, say Nicola again, again.
He whispers very quietly to them.
I won't hurt you. I just want your money.
He's not rough with them. They would not have felt danger, but the Asian girl did. Straight away, it was a totally different abduction. With the Asian girl, her murder has been almost like premeditated. Not like anything to do with the other cases, because the other two girls are Australian, they've been very, very safe. But without a doubt, this is the same person, though. I think he killed the Asian girl because of racism, which connects back to Vietnam. Or a repatriation hospital, or actually being in the medical area in Vietnam. But definitely an involvement with hospital medical area. I don't get any physical scars on him, so if he did serve in Vietnam, he's been a very fortunate person. And as I said, I feel that he's patched up people more than he's had anything to do with battle. I feel he's been an orderly in a hospital. The gown he's worn as an orderly in the hospital was green. The vision of the hospital that I have, I get a lawn at the front, not a very high building, with around 4 rows of windows. So it looks like a 60s building to me, and that's where I feel he has a strong connection with work.
The psychics have provided some stimulating leads in the Karmein Chan case. Next, a team of private investigators will hunt for hard evidence to break open the case.
Most of this information has never been released to the public, until now.
Team of private investigators. Using conventional methods, they have investigated the psychic leads and produced some cold, hard facts.
The psychic information on Mr. Krul is astoundingly accurate and has led to some real breakthroughs in the case. Whilst investigating the psychic leads, we interviewed various people close to the case and collected riveting information about Mr. Krul and his crimes. Most of this information has never been released to the public, until now.
He'd been watching the home, and I feel that he had sussed out the whole place. Someone who was some sort of tradesperson. The casual clothes, like the maintenance-y looking man, he was going to come and do gardening, or someone who had some sort of fixer's van or an electrician's van. He's here to fix something. That's what it feels like.
Both Ruth and Deb's description of a maintenance man is surprisingly accurate. The Chan family said a man wearing maintenance clothes knocked on their front door just 2 weeks prior to Carmen's abduction. He claimed he was looking for work. The Chan's description of the maintenance man fitted with Mr. Krul. Whilst investigating this lead, we uncovered another troubling fact. In the days leading up to Carmen's abduction, the alarm that covers their grounds kept going off intermittently. The Chans assumed their cat was triggering off the alarm, so they switched it off. Krul had successfully cleared the way for Carmen's abduction.
I feel that he lived with his mother.
And I don't get a father around him, I only get a mother. But I don't think she's still living. I feel that she passed 2 years ago.
Yeah, his mum's gone now.
He is a single person.
I don't feel that he's married.
He wouldn't have married at all. I don't think he's had the opportunity to marry.
The psychic's profile of Mr. Krul matches with that of criminal psychologists who analysed every single aspect of his behaviour. One revealing fact was that Krul pretended he was married to his victims. Their conclusion, therefore, was that Krul had to be a single man.
He maybe is not exercised because his skin is a little bit, I sort of feel he's a bit flabby, but it's very soft skin, almost like baby skin. There's not a lot of hair on him, and it's not thick hair, it's very fair hair.
Tell your father it's going to cost $25,000 to see Nicola again.
And he whispers.
Linda has provided very specific information about Krul's manner and physical appearance. Such intimate details have never been made public. However, we were able to source information provided to police by Nicola Lynas. Nicola said Krul was big but not obese, had very soft skin, particularly his belly and arms, and was ginger-haired but didn't have much body hair. Nicola also told police that Krul whispered to her.
$25,000 to see me.
We were truly amazed by Linda's perfect description of Mr. Krul. There have been many theories about Krul's occupation. Some suspect he's a teacher because the abductions occurred during school holidays. Others theorise that Krul is a policeman due to his intimate knowledge of forensics. But the psychics disagree.
When I see the girl with the braces, that she has, like, disinfectant over her, because I'm getting a very strong smell around this girl. Definitely an involvement with hospital medical area. I feel that he has been an orderly.
We examined all witness accounts and available evidence, looking for proof that links Krul to the medical field. Suddenly, everything seemed to fall into place. The methods he used to fastidiously clean his victims required experienced medical knowledge well above the general population. Krul cared for his victims as though they were his patients, washing them and even hand-feeding them. Krul returned Sharon Wills in garbage bags taped to her shoulders, closely resembling a hospital gown. And the most compelling piece of information that came to light during our investigation was that Krul repeatedly whispered the word elastoplast to his victims.
I'll get you another elastoplast.
Elastoplast is the medical term for what most people would simply call a band-aid. The psychic's linking Krul to the medical field is a breakthrough clue to his identity. But it doesn't stop there.
I have a strong sense that he's been to Vietnam or a repatriation hospital or actually being in the medical area in Vietnam. I feel that he's patched up people more than he's had anything to do with battle.
With the psychic's information in mind, we closely examined Krul's actions to see if they fitted with somebody who had been in the Vietnam War. The results were astounding.
Don't be a hero.
Mr. Krul was very experienced in handling firearms and had complete confidence in the use of a gun. He had exceptional knowledge of surveillance tactics. The break-ins were executed like strategic operations and were timed with absolute precision. Krul bound his victims using specialist knots. But there was one distressing fact that may explain why Sharon and Nicola survived, but Carmen didn't.
Is something to do with her being Asian?
I mean, I feel that there's been some sort of a racism issue here.
Part of the motive would have been racism.
The coroner ascertained from bone fragments that Carmen received 3 shots to the back of her head. This method of killing is more like an execution than a homicide. Carmen's murder has chilling parallels to the executions of prisoners of war.
Next, a startling conclusion to one of Australia's most baffling murders.
Just ahead in the late news,
In launching the investigation, we began by creating a map. We marked where the victims were abducted and where they were found. When you look at the map, you can see that these crime scenes form a geographical triangle. It clearly shows that Mr. Krul operated within a very specific area, an area that he was familiar with. This indicates he either worked or lived within the geographical triangle.
The house where I see him taking the girls, it's really to me more like a 70s house. It's not very well kept.
You know, you can hear the aeroplanes from where she was. She's got the aeroplane.
I feel around the Essendon area because I feel planes around that area.
A 70s house matches exactly with Nicola Lynas' description of the house where she was held captive. Nicola Lynas also heard planes flying directly over the house where she was kept by Mr. Krul. Nicola counted the number of planes flying overhead between certain hours, and this matched the same number of planes on approach to runway 1 at Tullamarine Airport. Police searched 30,000 houses under the flight path to no avail. However, the psychics have clearly seen 2 houses.
I really don't think he's held the girls in the same places where he lives.
Living in the east and taken to the west.
She thinks it was only a little while from the home. Might have even been 2 suburbs.
The location that I feel the perpetrator lives in would be strongly connected to Box Hill.
Box Hill is only 2 suburbs from Carmen's house, so it's likely the psychics are describing Krul as living in the Box Hill area. As we expected, Box Hill and its surrounds lie within the geographical triangle of the crime scenes.
I feel he's been an orderly in a hospital. I get a lawn at the front, not a very high building, with around 4 rows of windows. It looks like a 60s building to me.
Linda's vision of Krul's workplace was so clear that our team checked every hospital in the Melbourne metropolitan area. The Austin Hospital in Heidelberg matches exactly with Linda's description. At the time of Krul's attacks, this hospital was called the Repatriation Hospital. It was dedicated solely to returned servicemen, including Vietnam veterans. Incredibly, the Repatriation Hospital sits right in the middle of the triangle.
And she's showing me green. That must have been outside. Green?
For some reason I'm seeing green, pale green, or a dirty green colour.
She reflects the green and the house to me.
At the time of the attacks, the orderlies at the Repatriation Hospital wore green. Now, unfortunately, we hit a brick wall. Australia's strict privacy laws prevent us from obtaining a list of the hospital's past employees. Remember, the psychics have described seeing a plump man with ginger hair, who would now be middle-aged. He's a Vietnam vet who has worked at the Repatriation Hospital. He's lived or lives in the vicinity of Box Hill, and at the time of the abductions drove a blue or white coloured van. Police have publicly stated that Victoria Police Homicide Squad deals in factual evidence and investigates accordingly. They do not employ the services of clairvoyants and psychics. We believe the psychic information has the potential to unmask Mr. Krul's identity. If you believe you have had contact with this man, please log on to www.10.com.au/sensing murder. If you have any information about this case in general that is unrelated to the psychic's findings, please contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
The sorrow experienced by parents whose children have been abducted or murdered is unimaginable. Often they're unable to fully move through their grief and eventually just learn to live with it. But the human spirit is resilient, and even in the worst circumstances can still shine through.
At that time, the pain of it all was almost unbearable for me as a father, to have my daughter missing and not know where she was for 18 hours. I mean, we were very lucky because she was returned to us, whereas the Chan family didn't have that opportunity. But the other thing that I wanted to show him was that you haven't won. All it's done is bring us closer together. I was concerned that a lot of females resent or reject men after an episode like this, but I was very fortunate in the fact that Sharon obviously loves her father, and we were in a police car, and she reached over and put her arm around me and said, "I love you, Dad." Yeah. That spoke volumes to me. It is that absence, that not knowing where your daughter is. Somebody has a child. He's your child. You don't know where she is, what they're doing to her, whether you're going to get the child back, and when you finally get the opportunity to put your arms around your daughter, it's wonderful. Now we're moving on with our lives. The girls have all matured and grown up, and I mean, our youngest daughter is 20 now, so they're certainly not those little girls anymore. We see each other a lot, so even though, you know, there's a couple of them married now, the son-in-laws have fitted in well, so it's good. It's a good family life. I know Sharon's come through it okay, and I'm hoping Nicola has too. So it's just unfortunate about Carmen. I would like to close with one last message to all parents. Your children are precious. Love them and protect them.